Guys, what is going on? Welcome to my review for tonight's edition of SmackDown Live. We're going to take a look and break down everything that took place on the November 7th, 2017 edition of SmackDown, which emanated live from Manchester, England. So, like I said, this was a particularly noteworthy show. It's been a while since I've done a SmackDown review, let alone actually watched the show live. And I have to say, for the most part, I enjoyed this week's edition of SmackDown. There were a number of things, and of course, the biggest talking point, as you can see from the title in this video, is we have a new WWE champion. The phenomenal one, the only, the two-time WWE champion, AJ Styles. And I'll save that for later on in this review, but before I get into the review itself, I just want to let you guys know that I will be doing a review of the 30 for 30 ESPN special on the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. Just got finished watching it. Tremendous stuff. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, go out of your way to watch it. It was an absolutely amazing documentary from start to finish. Really gave me even greater insight than I already previously had on one of the all-time greats, Ric Flair. So I will save that for a special video later on in this week, so stay tuned for that. But let's talk about SmackDown Live. So we kick things off tonight with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon coming down to the ring talking about what happened last night on Raw. The New Day cost inadvertently when they made their presence felt on Raw. Led to Ambrose and Rollins losing the Raw Tag Team Championships to Cesaro. So now we have Cesaro versus the Usos at Survivor Series. Shane invites out the New Day. They talk about what happened on Raw, how they once again hashtag made Raw under siege, and they start awkwardly, albeit dancing and shucking and jiving and New Day rocks and all that good stuff, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would come out and they say, "Oh, this must be the way that you move up here on SmackDown Live, pretty much kiss ass and dance and make yourself look like a fool." And then we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens talk about the fact that they could have taken on the entire Raw roster, by themselves if they wanted to. And Shane says, "The type of attitude that you guys have here is why you were not representing SmackDown Live at Survivor Series." Sami complained about losing to Randy Orton with a low blow and the fact that, Shane, you didn't even do anything about this, so you really have no room to talk about being fair and this being the land of opportunity. And also, Shane announced earlier on that Daniel Bryan will be returning next week to SmackDown Live, so we have that to watch out for. As we all know, Daniel Bryan was attacked by Kane the previous week, 2 weeks ago on Raw, so we'll have to see how that factors into Survivor Series. So I do like the fact that there are actually a number of different factors that could play into that main event, whether it's with Daniel Bryan, whose side he remains on. There's been tension between him and Shane. How are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going to get involved? They don't have a match presently scheduled. And, of course, Kurt Angle's career being on the line. Not his career, him being GM of Monday Night Raw. So I like the fact that they're doing this. It actually gets me to be somewhat more so interested in Survivor Series than I was at the start of the build to this pay-per-view. So then the New Day and KO and Sami Zayn go back and forth on the mic. Fun little bit of roasting between these two teams. And then Shane makes a match. We have Sami Zayn versus Kofi Kingston, and then the match immediately starts afterwards. So perhaps a feud between the New Day and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens down the line. Maybe for Clash of Champions. We'll have to see. The match is taking place next week on SmackDown, so that'll be a fresh matchup. New Day versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And then we have the match between Sami Zayn and Kofi Kingston. Short match, but for the amount of time that I thought these guys had, I thought they worked well with one another. I think their styles really complement one another very well. Kofi Kingston, Sami Zayn, somewhat similar in style, so that's what really made them click in the ring. Of course, the finish came down to when Kofi Kingston was able to climb up to the top rope. He had a flying crossbody and pinned Sami Zayn. So afterwards, Kevin Owens tried to attack Kofi Kingston, but he left the ring before the New Day were able to get to him. So it looks like, based on what happened on Raw, that we're going to be getting The Shield versus The New Day at Survivor Series. I know some people were upset that we aren't getting the Usos versus Ambrose and Rollins, and I am upset about that. I think it could have been an incredible match. And maybe we'll see that match down the line, but Show versus New Day, something that I can look forward to. And I think, those 3 or 6 individuals will go out there and deliver a kick-ass 6-man tag team match. We all know how great the Shield 6-man matches were back in 2014, 2013. They were really the highlights of Raw every single week. And I think that this will be a match to look out for at Survivor Series. And could potentially be able to steal the show. We'll have to see, but if that's the direction that they're going in, and I'm assuming it is. I mean, we haven't had the match made official yet or whatever, but due to the fact that Ambrose and Rollins lost their tag team championships, it would only make sense for that to happen, so we'll see. We'll see what happens this Monday on Raw, and if the match gets announced, and if not, by SmackDown next week. We then have, after this, we have, let's see here, Rusev versus Randy Orton. Aiden English introduces Rusev. Of course, every day is Rusev Day, and on this particular Rusev Day, him and Blandy Borton had an okay match. I've seen Randy Orton Rusev before. Their matches have been okay, nothing really too special, and it's Randy Orton. I mean, honestly, I like Orton, but I just don't see him giving in his all. I just see him going through the motions, get in, get out, hit the RKO, and move on. He's been saying that he wants to be a heel. He's tired of being the babyface, so why not just let Orton be the heel and have some fun? Because, honestly, I haven't really cared about him since before he turned on the Wyatts. When he joined the Wyatt family, there was some interest there, and I feel they didn't go all the way with that. You could have done so much more with that, and then he just beat Bray Wyatt, and it's just like, no thank you, I'm not interested. So Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere. Disappointing. I was hoping to see maybe Rusev get a win here, but once Orton hits that RKO, it's pretty much over with. We then have a rare intergender match. I can't tell you the last time that we saw one of these in WWE. It's been a long, long time. But this was fun. Becky Lynch taking on James Ellsworth. It's always fun when you see James Ellsworth get the ever-loving shit kicked out of him. And I like the promo that he cut before on Becky Lynch, getting some heat on him, talking about, the fact that Becky Lynch has no chance against him because he's a man, and we're in Manchester, not Womanchester. And this guy was just totally asking to get his ass kicked, and that's exactly what happened. So you get the heat on him before the match, and then he goes out there, and it was fun seeing Becky Lynch, just pretty much kick his ass, and that's exactly what she did. Ellsworth, towards the end, he tried to make amends. He said, let's just hug it out. Let's just be friends. We'll just call this off. So as he's going in to hug her, Becky Lynch gets in the disarmor, and Ellsworth taps out like a little bitch. So, and then what was more interesting after this was the fact that Carmella super kicked James Ellsworth, so perhaps signaling the breakup of Carmella and James Ellsworth. We'll have to see where they go with this. And when Carmella will be cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. That's what I'm really wondering about. She's had it for a while now, since June, and we do know that next week it was announced by Shane that Natalya will be challenging Charlotte. Or should I get that the other way around? Charlotte will be challenging Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So I would like to see Charlotte get the win there, pick up the Women's Championship, and let's do Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte, because no disrespect or offense to Natty, but I would be much more interested in a match between Charlotte and Alexa Bliss compared to Natalya and Alexa. And they kind of been hinting at that with, the statements that Alexa has made about, facing Charlotte. And something tells me that Charlotte will get the win, and we will get Alexa versus Charlotte at Survivor Series. So we'll have to see how that match plays out next week, but we do have that match confirmed, in addition to The New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So after the intergender match here, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line here. The Usos versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Decent match, but putting that aside, what worried me was the fact that I don't know if Jey Uso legitimately got injured in this match, because toward the end of the match, Chad Gable took out the knee of Jey Uso. He went outside the ring and then went underneath it, and Jey Uso couldn't get back to his feet. So the Usos were counted out, therefore they retained their tag team titles, but I was reading online, Jey Uso might possibly be injured. Maybe it's a work, maybe he was just selling. I'm not sure. Hopefully everything is okay with the Usos. I'd hate to see one of them go down with an injury. That would be devastating, especially before Survivor Series. So we'll have to see where that goes, or perhaps it's all part of the story. I don't know. Maybe this is what they intended to do, but fingers crossed. Hopefully, there's no injury coming out of this. And then finally, we get into what I was most looking forward to on this show: the WWE Championship. Jinder Mahal defending his title versus the phenomenal, the one, the only AJ Styles. And I have to say, to date, this was Jinder Mahal's best match in WWE. His best match as WWE Champion. And fittingly, it came to an end tonight. When they first announced this, I was thinking, I just didn't think they were going to pull the trigger here. I didn't think that AJ Styles was going to win the WWE Championship tonight. But, you know, Jinder and Styles, they went out there and they had a kick-ass match, I'll have to say. From the interference from the Singh brothers to AJ taking them out, you know, to eventually going up to that top rope. When he hit that phenomenal forearm, you know, 1, 2, 3, and the place goes nuts. And I'm thinking, holy shit, we are actually going to get AJ Styles versus the Beast, Brock Lesnar, at Survivor Series. So instantly increases my excitement level for Survivor Series. AJ Styles is now a 2-time WWE champion, and that is one more thing that I'm looking forward to at Survivor Series. We got AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. That should be good. And potentially Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte, if they want to go that route. I'd be looking forward to seeing how that match plays out. And then potentially the New Day versus the Shield. Sounds good enough to me. But they made the right decision here. Doing AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar in what is one of Lesnar's last matches going into, if he doesn't re-sign with WWE once his contract comes up in August. You only got Lesnar for a certain number of dates. You want to make the most out of them, so why not put him in there with one of the best in the world today, AJ Styles. And I would love to see Brock and AJ take it to the limit. I know Brock still has it in him to go out there and deliver a kick-ass match. And I think AJ and Lesnar, and I'll go on a limb and say this, I think they could have a match similar to Lesnar versus Punk at SummerSlam 2013. One of my favorite matches I've seen. I love that Lesnar-Punk match. My match of the year for 2013. I know, put Lesnar in the ring there with Styles, that Brock still has it in him. So hopefully it's more than a 5-minute, 6-minute match. You know, let's see a motivated Lesnar go in there and him and AJ tear the house down. Because that would be really worth something. So, overall, SmackDown Live tonight had its ups and downs, but for the most part, I enjoyed this show. And if I had to give a grade for it, I would go with a B-. So, really happy to see AJ as champion. Looking forward to Survivor Series that much more. The stakes are raised, so that pretty much covers everything for SmackDown Live tonight. Like I said, guys, once this video is posted, be sure to leave your comments down below for what you thought of SmackDown Live. Always enjoy getting your feedback. And remember, to help continue to support this channel grow, please click the like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel here at youtube.com/DanielGaza412. Also, be sure to follow me on my Twitter at DanielGaza412 for all my latest tweets during Raw, SmackDown, Penguin Games, pay-per-views, you name it, what have you. The Walking Dead, cover it all. So that is it, guys, for this video. Once again, I want to say thank you all for watching, and I will be back up here again later this week with another video. So until then, Take care.